And I am a fish finder.
And I'm a fish killer and a fish finder.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Big fishing ain't far.
I'm getting there, loaded.
Get your cap and get your car.
As you can see, there's bait fish all along.
Big fish in a span.
Net Chad, net.
Got your limit, what the heck?
Sam, 2 keepers.
Hopedale-Delacroix.
Summertime in New Orleans means speckled trout.
Big fishing ain't far.
Don't you love fishing with friends?
Kiss the lid.
Big Fish TV is up and running thanks to great sponsors like Ray Brandt Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Puglia Sporting Goods, Cajun Outboards, Neal Record Insurance, the Clayton Frugier Law Firm, Penn Fishing, Berkeley, Abu Garcia, and Spiderwire, Ultimate Braid Fishing Line.
During Truck Month, get $10,000 in total savings on the new 1500 Ram Crew Cab Outdoorsman Package, or get $14,000 off the MSRP on the new 2012 Ram 2500 Mega Cab. Only at Ray Brandt Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram on the West Bank, or online at RayBrandtDodge.com.
Welcome to the Big Fish. I'm Captain Sam Barbera.
And I'm Joe Macaluso. We have a terrific show for you today.
Look, wintertime fishing in Louisiana can be very hard.
Okay, Sam, how hard is it?
Harder than shell beds, rock jetties, and oyster shells.
Well, I guess what you're telling me is we got to find all of those to catch fish right now.
Absolutely. Today, Captain C.T. Williams has a special guest from Pure Fishing. You may not recognize the word Pure Fishing, but you'll recognize some of their brands.
Well, Abu Garcia's tops, Berkeley, Trilene, Shakespeare, Stren,
Mitchell, Penn.
Right. Oh, wow. Penn Reels, man. How can you get any better than that? Well, Pure Fishing is an umbrella corporation. It takes in a lot of companies. A lot of fishermen will know those names.
Absolutely.
Right?
Great operations, great companies like Berkeley, Penn, Abu Garcia, Mitchell, Shakespeare, Fluger, Stren, Trilene, and Spiderwire. Those are just some of the companies associated with Pure Fishing.
John Weiss is a man in charge. I met him last week in Tulsa because he was there for the Bassmaster Classic. Terrific guy, and I guess he's probably high enough to say he's the #2 guy in the company.
Yeah, he is. More importantly, he's a great fisherman, and he brought his family down to fish with Captain C.T. Williams and Captain Mark Munson.
Well, all right, what do we see for 2013?
2013, I hope it's a little bit more of the same. You know, you can't predict the weather, but aside from the weather, you know, the fishing is strong right now. License sales are up, and especially in the strong markets, you know, where fishing is a popular sport. When you think about that, you think about the Gulf states, from Florida all the way over to Louisiana. You think about in the Midwest, upper Midwest, Central, and the North, in the Eastern Coast, you know, fishing's really strong right now, and the fishing sales are up. Fishing license sales are up, I should say, and I think people are, you know, with the high price of fuel, I think they're finding fishing to be quite an enjoyable bargain, you know, rather than traveling down to where they might go. Kind of stay at home and find a place to go fishing, and something to do with their families too.
All right, the past few years we've seen some pretty revolutionary innovations in line, in baits, in products. Any hints of things to come next year?
Well, 2013, you know, we have in our durable lines, you know, the Revo is going to be relaunched, and we're starting to see that in the stores now, and in Abu Garcia. That's their big launch for the year. Our Penn brand, what you're going to see there is the Spin Fisher, and it's going to take the Spin Fisher, the old Spin Fisher, and the Slammer, and you combine it together and make a complete line of fishing reels, and that's just starting to make the market now for our 2013 product line.
Gulp has almost become a staple down here as far as a bait goes in the northern Gulf saltwater market. But we've seen it sort of evolve from a bait where the colors just sort of melted together to some very defined color separation, new shapes. What about this year? What about next year?
Always new shapes, and you're going to start to see, you know, more firetail type of shapes. So that was a technology we've been working on for the last 2-3 years. I think we got it perfected now, and you'll start to see more interesting tail type colors and tail shapes coming out on things. So the mantis shrimp's an example, right, where you have a twin tail on a shrimp. It just gives that shrimp a little more action, so your presentation doesn't have to be quite as strong, and fish react real well to it. Of course, once they get their mouth on it, they can't let go, right?
It's over. Well, what about in the line, in the world of lines? You know, we've seen monofilaments go almost the route of what they can do. Certainly fluorocarbon sort of topped off a great low stretch monofilament. Then we moved into the braids. The braids have become, there's such a variety of braids. You can find a braid that'll do almost anything as well. And now we move into a new technology with this nanofill. Now the nanofill really sort of started on the light end of the pound test. What's the future for that?
Well, nanofill is a bit limited, so the technology, in order to get a monofilament style line out of that type of a fiber, you have to be relatively small. So if you stay small, it works real well, and it provides an exceptional experience when it comes to casting. Casting performance and feel. When you start getting above 14 and 17 pound, which is where we took it this year, you start running into trouble. And so we're probably not going to take it much further than that. But what I will say is that we continue to evolve the braids so that they're smoother, and they cast just as well. And when you get to those bigger pound tests, it's not always about casting anyway, and it's, you know, the smaller pound test is more of a finesse technique where you really need to get something somewhere. It's out there, it's available to do. Bigger pound test, it's about not making a lot of noise in the guides and giving you that good experience in those sizes.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton & Fouget. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton & Fouget today.
New Orleans' first dry stack boat storage facility, Seabrook Harbor, can accommodate 200 boats up to 40 feet long. We are located at the Industrial Canal, less than 1 mile from Lake Pontchartrain and the Seabrook Bridge. Our full-service facilities feature a fuel dock with gas and diesel, a ship store with snacks, tackle, and more, and Seabrook Harbor sells live shrimp in season. Additional amenities include a fish cleaning station and showers. Seabrook Harbor, New Orleans' premier dry stack boat storage facility, where we do more than just store.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Puglia Sporting Goods in Metairie is your one-stop shop for anything you need for inshore, offshore, duck hunting, and deer hunting with rifle or bow. Puglia's is loaded with your favorite rods and reels from Shimano, Penn, Abu Garcia, and Daiwa, as well as the lures that catch the big ones in South Louisiana. Can't find what you want? Puglia's will order it today and you'll have it tomorrow. Puglia's has all the best lines of bows with a tuning station and bow tuner on staff. And you know Puglia's has the greatest selection of guns in the area with experts on hand to answer all your questions. Stop in today. Puglia's is at 1925 Veterans in Metairie and has been since 1968.
What about in the pen world?
You know, Penn is about. I like to kind of think of Penn like this. It was a great brand that was ignored for a long time, and so what you've seen over the last 3-4 years is a rejuvenation of the products. You know, product first. It's not about marketing, it's about product first. And if you get the product right, people will come to your product. So we're filling that portfolio out with a lot of inshore products so that people can have that experience. And inshore fishing is really picking up on a relative basis. So when you think about people taking a boat and having to go, you know, to 20, 30 miles offshore to go fishing. That's a lot of money, you know, in gas. So they're starting to fish inshore. So we're kind of coming out with that inshore series of products at the right time. And we're going to continue that. But in addition, we're not ignoring the offshore market. So as we're moving into, you know, the squall lever drags, which is the graphite frame lever drags, you know, two-speed reels. You think of the fathoms going into the lever drag, level lines, the whole bit. That whole series is going to be broadening out. It'll be completed this year. And we'll start looking at the international. You know, what can we do to that? Is there anything we can do to take some weight out of the international and still maintain that durability that we need?
Very cool. All right, last question. Probably the toughest.
All right.
Where's your favorite place to fish?
Well, Louisiana, of course.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
That was a great day on the water. And what CT tells us is John kind of filled him in on some of the new things that are coming out of Pure Fishing in the coming months. I guess we're going to have to wait maybe until the summer at the ICAST show to see what they really are. We got a kind of a sneak preview of a couple things. Big havoc baits coming out.
Well, look, from great fishing to great fish and great food. Let's see what Chef Tenny Flynn's got cooking in the kitchen at GW Finn's.
All right, here at GW Finn's this morning, we're going to do something that we don't do in the restaurant, but is really good to do at home, and that's deep fried flounder. An accompaniment to that we're going to make first are hush puppies. I'm going to start off with, I've got a cup of milk and a cup of buttermilk. I'm going to bring those up pretty much to a boil. I'm also going to add a 1/4 cup of rendered bacon grease. And while that's coming up, got my cornmeal there, which I'm going to pour the boiling milk and bacon grease over, and then I have some corn flour here. Got a tablespoon of baking powder, and I've got a teaspoon of baking soda. I'll mix that together real well. I'm going to add my salt and pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and beat up my eggs. Okay, our buttermilk and milk and bacon grease mixture is about hot enough to pour over our cornmeal here. Okay, I'm going to add a cup of chopped onion, a couple of tablespoons of chopped garlic, about a tablespoon or 2 of chopped parsley, about 1 bunch of chopped green onions. All right, I'm going to stir in my 3 eggs now. Now I'm going to add my plain fish fry that has my salt, pepper, baking powder, and baking soda in it. Also, I may want to thin this out a little bit with just a little bit more buttermilk. It looks like it's going to be just a little bit tight. All right, this is the first part of our fried seafood dish, and we're gonna let this rest, and our next thing that we put together is going to be our coleslaw.
The Penn Conquer is the most technologically advanced spinning reel built.
Good thing this drag makes noise. You wouldn't even know it's going out.
Smooth HT100 drag under the heaviest loads.
I am amazed how smooth that drag is.
Patented one-piece machined gearbox. One-of-a-kind easy access system for a lifetime of painless maintenance.
What a home run.
Penn, legendary performance.
During Truck Month, get $10,000 in total savings on the new 1500 Ram Crew Cab Outdoorsman Package, or get $14,000 off the MSRP on the new 2012 Ram 2500 Mega Cab. Only at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank or online at RayBrandtDodge.com.
You're an outdoorsman. You love to hunt and fish. but hate it when you reach for your knife and discover it's dull. After all your hard work and skill, you're now faced with the prospect of ruining the meat, or worse still, your trophy. Introducing the new Work Sharp Knife and Tool Sharpener, the revolutionary power sharpener built specifically for you, the outdoorsman. Sharpening every knife you own has never been so easy. When you prepare your knives with Work Sharp, you know you're ready for action. Precision, easy-to-use guides deliver the perfect angle for razor-sharp knives. Fast, effective, repeatable, every single time. Flexible, quick-changing abrasive belts were strategically engineered to sharpen cool. In seconds, you'll grind, sharpen, and hone all with one tool. Spend more time in the field where you belong. Get the most out of all your hunting and fishing gear by adding the Work Sharp Knife and Tool Sharpener to your arsenal.
It's Truck Month at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank, and we'll trade for anything. Cars, trucks, SUVs, ATVs, boats, campers, you name it, we'll trade it. Only at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank or online at raybrandtdodge.com.
Now everybody's got a different idea of what slaw is. My only advice would that to be, put your vegetables separately and then make your dressing. That way you can adjust your dressing the way you want it before you mix it into vegetables. We're going to do a very basic thing here. I'm going to start off, I've got salt, pepper, sugar, celery seed. I've got some cane vinegar. You can use cider vinegar, you can use white vinegar, whatever you want, and some honey. I'm going to mix that all together, dissolve that honey. And then I have some delicious full-fat blue plate mayonnaise, which after the honey's dissolved, I'm going to mix that right in. And I'm going to add a little bit of Tabasco in there, about a half a teaspoon. Okay, and I'm going to mix this over my, I've just got some cabbage and red and green peppers here, and I'm not going to mix all of it. All right, now we got our hush puppy batter made, we got our coleslaw finished, and it's time for us to put our fish together. I've got a little salt, pepper, a little Cajun land seasoning, some small pieces of flounder, because I want them to, they're going to cook real quick. And I'm going to cook the hush puppies first because the hush puppies take longer to cook. But anyway, that comes next. I'm going to season. Salt, pepper, a little Cajun land. I'm doing that on both sides. Then I've got a breading station set up here of flour, egg wash, and seasoned fish fry. Now when you're doing a flour and a wet batter, you want the product, whatever it is you're frying, to sit in the liquid for a couple of minutes, long enough for the liquid to dissolve the flour a little bit so you get a nice sticky surface. So your final breading, the fish fry sticks to it. Okay, now we're going to go over to the fryer and start frying. All right, we got our hush puppy batter made, we got our fish breaded, we got our coleslaw made, and the first thing we're going to do is fry the hush puppies since they take longer to cook than the fish. Now watch this carefully, this is a chef thing. Get a small handful hush puppy batter, scoop it with a spoon, with your finger push it out in the grease. Be very careful not to put your finger in the grease or also to splash the grease. Now as they come up to the top, they're going to harden up just a little bit. I'm going to let them cook for about a minute, and then we're going to put them in a basket where we can handle them more easily. All right, but they're about half done, so I can go ahead and drop my fish now. And I'm going to turn my hush puppies over now. You can see one side's quite a bit browner than the other. All right, our hush puppies are done and our fish is done. And little pieces of fish like this, when they float, they're ready. So if you got a deep fryer at your camp, or you've even got a Fry Daddy or something like that, this would be a great thing to make with trout or drum or sheephead or flounder or anything you've got. It's all good fried this way. And here's our finished dish. Just fried Louisiana flounder with coleslaw and hush puppies.
GW Finn's is a great restaurant with dinner items so fresh they print a new menu daily.
Oh, that's the way I like it.
Nothing's better than boiled seafood, spiced just right.
Oh, yeah.
And Louisiana Fish Fry Products makes it easy to boil right every time.
Can't get enough.
Grab a bag. There's nothing to mix. Just pour and boil.
Oh, now you're cooking.
Crawfish, crab, or shrimp. With Louisiana Fish Fry Products, you got boiling down easy.
Oh, that's the way I like it. Ow.
It's a new year with new lower pricing, like the new 2013 Dodge Charger for only $22,490 or the new 2013 Dodge Challenger for only $21,990. Only at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank or online at raybrandtdodge.com.
Pugliese Sporting Goods in Metairie is your one-stop shop for anything you need for inshore, offshore, duck hunting, and deer hunting with rifle or bow. Pugliese is loaded with your favorite rods and reels from Shimano, Penn, Abu Garcia, and Daiwa, as well as the lures that catch the big ones in South Louisiana. Can't find what you want? Pugliese will order it today and you'll have it tomorrow. Pugliese has all the best lines of bows with a tuning station and bow tuner on staff. And you know Pugliese has the greatest selection of guns in the area with experts on hand to answer all your questions. Stop in today. Pugliese is at 1925 Veterans in Metairie and has been since 1968.
March 1st through 3rd, come join Team Big Fish. Talk a little fishing at the North Shore Boat and Fishing Show in Slidell. Great deals on boats, fishing gear, charter fishing trips, and more will be at the North Shore Harbor Convention Center. Meet the pros and watch the weigh-in live for the Louisiana Saltwater Series Redfish Tournament. Get a chance to win a decked-out fishing kayak. Go to www.boatandfishing.com for more information and a $2 discount on general admission.
It's Truck Month at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank, and we'll trade for anything. Cars, trucks, SUVs, ATVs, boats, campers, you name it, we'll trade it. Only at Ray Brandt Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the West Bank or online at raybrandtdodge.com.
Mark, just recently we saw the fish on the lower end of the Mr. Go, kind of in the Hopedale Shell Beach area. Now those fish seem to move closer towards Bayou Avenue in New Orleans. At the same time, the fish in Delacroix have seemed to move further up in the marsh. What do you think's going on right now?
You got to be following bait. There's no other reason for them to go anywhere. We had all those shrimp being caught right out here in the channel. I mean, the trawlers were pushing and pulling there day after day, and they're not just there for their health. So obviously it was full of shrimp, and you saw the fish that we had the last time we did a show right there close behind the gas plant and everything else. So the bait was in there, and then the bait's going to move up the channel, but it kind of gets stuck at that wall now. I think it really just it hits a wall literally, and it's stuck there. So the fish are going to follow it, and they're catching them there deep, slide cork rigs. But the fish in Delacroix, I've noticed the shrimp inside of them. Tons of these little tiny shrimp, and anywhere we can find a bay funneling like you would normally want to fish, they got to have millions of those little baby shrimp down there, and the fish are jam-packed with them. So they're starting to catch them over Point Fiend and all the spots that you would normally catch them much later in the year, when it gets cold and you drift in those flats, but they're there now. And like today, so we had a slack tide in the morning. It was very slow, so we targeted those areas that really funneled in tight. That little pass we were fishing was probably no wider than 50 feet at the most. I mean, it's perfect because you can hide from the wind and cast straight across. You get 6 to 7 feet of water in the trough, and it funnels all the bait through.
So you're talking about bay to bay with a choke point or a funnel.
Right.
Is there anything? You mentioned 6 feet of depth. Is the depth important?
Well, the deeper channel is going to move more water. You get more of a funneling effect. You get those shallow little choke points, and it can't funnel as much water through. Now, just to the side, just to the left of where we were casting, it shows up. So when we went to take off, it's only a foot and a half deep, but it's 6 to 7 feet in the middle. So it funnels in there and it pushes everything up to the surface. That's why we were fishing right on the edge of it, 4 feet under, because you cast into the deep, and as soon as it got to that sweet spot where the bait's getting pushed up, they hit it.
Well, Sam, I just got back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, 43rd Bassmaster Classic, terrific event as usual.
So, who won?
Cliff Pace, Petal, Mississippi, a wire-to-wire winner. You know, he was tied with Mike Iaconelli on the first day, took over a big lead on the second day, caught only 4 fish the third day. But I think for Louisiana people, you kind of have to understand, Bassmaster Classic, everything is measured by what's going on in Louisiana. And we need to do everything we can to get the Bassmaster to keep coming back on a regular visit. You know, we push to have the Super Bowl here, you know, on a good rotation, maybe every 4, 5, or 6 years. We need the Bassmaster Classic to come back. Last year, you know, everything was measured by what happened in Shreveport. The expo, the fishing excitement.
Set new records.
Right, set all new records. And this year, what you heard in Tulsa was everything was measured by what happened in Shreveport at the expo and at the weigh-in, and then what happened in New Orleans just a year before when Kevin Van Dam set the all-time record, you know, for Bassmaster Classic catch with a 5 bass limit. We in Louisiana have a lot to be proud of with our fisheries, and what we need to do is to make sure our governor, our lieutenant governor, all our state representatives and senators understand what a big deal bass fishing is. Time enough, we're coming up on the legislative session, and it looks like it's going to be a tight budget. But one thing our state politicians need to understand, fishing is tourism in Louisiana.
Absolutely.
Not just Mardi Gras, not just the food that we have, not just the Vieux Carré in New Orleans, or any of the old things we have here in the state. And we have beautiful tourist attractions.
But fishing is huge.
Right. And we need to have them understand that, especially when you go out of this state and you hear other people talking, well, it wasn't as good as Shreveport and the weights weren't as good as New Orleans. Very important that we keep our politicians on track. Fishing is king in Louisiana. We need to keep it that way.
It's not only big fun, it's big business. And this is
right.
Big Fish.
And big money.
Well, that about wraps up another Big Fish TV show. But if you want more, if you want the inside on what's going on outside, visit www.bigfish.net for all kinds of fishing stuff.
Stuff.
Hey,
and that was great. Thanks for watching this week. We'll be back next week. Big Fish TV.
Until then, take a minute to look at bigfishfinder.net. This is a website filled with great fishing information for everyone, and if you become a member, you can find GPS numbers as well as marked maps and detailed information to fishing spots that are active right now. The site is new and continues to grow, but already has a great deal of good information. Before your next fishing trip, give it a try. Special thanks to Captain Mark Munson of First Cast Charters. First class from the first cast. Mark fishes Shell Beach year-round and Lake Pontchartrain seasonally. And to Robbie F.J. and the gang at Campo's Marina. Friendly, fast service, help at the launch and at the bait tank. You can expect a very generous bait count and even a few good fishing spots.
Sunrise, flat water, gold skies, live shrimp or cock-a-hole. Which one will I throw? The big fish in your style, bread and sound of Grand Isle. Big fish in your style, bread and sound of Grand Isle.